what I'm going to present is what's happening in East Africa. And East Africa is one of the areas that is severely affected by climate change, as reflected in repeated droughts and flash flood that wash everything. So they developed in 2011, they developed Drought Disaster Resilience Sustainability Initiative. And that is a comprehensive integrated initiative. We have like 7 pillars: the natural resources, the environment management, market access, trade and financial services, enhance production and livelihood diversification, disaster risk management, research, knowledge management and technology transfer, peace building, conflict prevention and resolution, coordination and institutional strengthening and partnership. Based on this umbrella initiative, there is a lot of intervention and a lot of funding from different donors through different agencies and to the government in the member state of IGAD, particularly for Ethiopia, for Kenya, for Djibouti, for Uganda, recently for Somalia. Most of the intervention are looking at the issue of pastoral, agropastoral livelihoods support, because pastoral and agropastoral is the mobile community in the region. So with their mobility, they make a lot of what we call localized conflict and competition over the natural resources, the limited natural resources available, as mentioned by my colleague. Sutu. But to address the livelihood issues and resilience of those communities, it's very important to do some management for the natural resources and to improve the market access and trade and the livelihood support, and address any of the potential risks that may appear, like a contingency planning. For this, when we speak about natural resource management, the number one is the water. We have a lot of water coming during the rainy season through seasonal streams and holes. Sometimes it's causing floods, other times it is shortage. So there is a lot of soil degradation because of what is happening with the climate change. And with this, the current intervention in those member states is how to conserve more water. Number one, either by water collection points or creating small soil dikes and small dams. And by doing so, you are improving the underground water table. Particularly if you have a cycle of drought that continue for 3 years, if you have a good underground reservoir, then you can still exist in your place and you don't migrate. For the others, and this also include like the natural vegetation, particularly trees. And maybe the one Masha can, or Sutu can pick that forest is the one who is providing the feeding during the dry season for livestock. And usually those pastoral community, they refer back to the forest in their area to have some feed from the falling leaves of the trees and the shade from the trees that protects them from the severe heat. So the forest is one of the important components together with water. But the most important one, because you remember at the beginning, maybe some people did not attend the first part of it, is the issue of migration and displacement and refugees. Particularly, we are trying to help people to stay in their areas. And to stay in their areas, you have to build the different infrastructure that is needed and try to provide the basic social services that people survive on it, like education, health, access, market access, etc. So we have an infrastructure of road improvement, particularly market access roads, and we have basic education services, and we have health services, primary health services, etc. For the credit, also we are facing a problem with the banking system. So some of the countries, they release some policies regarding mobile system for finance, and that help. For the cooperatives, the cooperative legislation is still lacking behind, and we need to work on the legal issues to improve the cooperative structures. All of the intervention we are doing in IGAD country is a community-driven development approach. We have to mobilize the community about the potential they have in their areas, and then they select the priority interventions they needed. And like now, we have 500 million for Uganda, 400 for Ethiopia, 100 million, 300 for Kenya, and 80 million for Djibouti. But the area that we are assisting, it is borderland areas most of the time. So it is far away from the capital. We have poor infrastructure to outreach, but people are surviving there, and we are trying to develop their livelihood, diversify their income, and protect their children from going illiterate. Because one of the major issues about those areas in rural areas is illiteracy. And with illiteracy, you have a lot of manipulation for conflict and dispute, etc.